Welcome back to episode 3. So, last time out, we had a rather lucky occurrence with the annexation of Guangxi. And given that not everything went according to plan, we are, depending on your perspective on this, either a bit further forward than what we expected to be, or a bit behind. Let me explain. So, we will go through everything that affects our nation right now. First of all, we need to get rid of the mobilization. So let's demobilize and hope that this is fine. Great. What's next? Oh, let's have a look at technology. We just got a lot of leadership gifted to us. We do not need the officers right now, even though officers never hurt. And we will definitely need them later. I will reduce this to 0. Same with diplomacy. We do not need that much right now. Half a point would probably be sufficient. Neither do we need that much espionage anymore. Sure, we can use some. But say 2.5 should be fine. For now. So that gives us the opportunity to research basically everything. So that's a plus, right? We also have really a lot of air combat experience, so we should probably use that in some way. I think morale, for example, is totally fine. It always is. And given that we flew a lot of ground attacks, also the reduction to the organization penalty would be helpful. These two complement each other pretty nicely. Same with the organization, by the way, but I think morale is more important. And given that we will encounter difficulties in the air at some point, we should start sooner rather than later with these. So let's say we go with this. Air interception is probably something that we will run too. So something like this. There's 4 technologies, that's not too bad. Okay, what else? Well, in diplomacy we have 9 points to spare. We do not know yet about the resources, but it's highly likely that we will still need rares. That said, some changes happened. France is now our neighbor. Do they sell rares? Well, definitely not. They lack rares. They might sell metal. Oh well, we don't know. What about the rest? Shaanxi is still available, Yunnan. The United Kingdom, for some weird reason, is in a deficit of some of these materials too. I do not know why that is. No idea what happened. How does production look? Well, it's looking just fine, but there's a few problems. First of all, we do not produce this down here, and I'd rather not have 167 industrial capacity required. So what we can do is we can get rid of the 3-year draft again. And go back to the volunteer army, which will reduce officer recruitment, which we don't use anyway. So let's go back to this. And alongside it, we will go back to minimal training. And all of a sudden, a lot of these units are finished due to the volunteer training, which doesn't matter much, because we have them at 25% strength again. And I think the resources required will update next day. We were at technology. We had a look at politics, I think. There's no reason to do anything here. Not right now. This is coming along nicely, so let's have a look at intel. Well, apparently there's a foreign spy activity in our country, so we will reduce this, the support for the ruling party for a second. Yeah, just hunt them down. If we can get them, that is. Australia looks decent. France looks decent. In fact, let's switch this for a while. Let's get rid of these foreign spies. Same here. Any minister? No. At one spy, we can probably afford to ignore that. We have 4 spies right now. Okay, so we might as well sell some energy, right? Let's have a look at the trade agreements too. Apparently we import rares from Amsterdam. That's not bad. Yeah, we do. Okay, so I would want to get rid of these at some point. We also import money for energy, as it seems, and for supplies to Mexico. So this trade for supplies to Mexico might need to go. I'd rather sell energy. And there are nations that need energy. Well, apparently no one's willing to buy though. Sweetness. Great. How about you guys? Yeah, they will buy some more. Well, doesn't matter much. So we got that settled. Dissent will dissipate with time. And the rest of it, well, now we have to reorganize the army. Obviously, we will not need those forces down here anymore, with the exception of the garrisons. So let's relocate all of those up here. Take that garrison. Put it down here. Down another here. And I forgot this one. Well, I cannot seem to see another garrison that is misplaced, but who knows? The aviation will settle down here for a second. There's the trade agreements. And we will move them up here to reduce supply costs. Where's that ship, by the way? Could you get inside, please? Didn't catch a single trade convoy, by the way. Okay. So all of this should be settled by tomorrow. Should. Yeah. So these are 3 infantry units and a bunch of militia. We might as well deploy them. So for militia, I do not need good leaders, I think. They are just there to fill the ranks. With these here, I prefer leaders with traits that have very low experience to give them some experience in the next conflict. And as you can see, now the production chain more or less fills our industrial capacity. Some of this might still improve a little bit. Depends a bit on No, there's no destroyed industry in here anymore, is there? Just the infrastructure that is still a bit suffering. So that's it. We are sitting at 105. Not too bad. Base capacity is at 84. I think once we pass 100, we are considered to be a major. Not that it matters. We will have additional mountaineer units coming in. Yeah, the practicals do not look too bad. I'm not very fond of the artillery practical right now. We can leave that in. We need it anyway. Do we want to import additional metal from Ireland? That's better. So let's decline this. I do not think that we need to import that much metal, because rares will be empty. Well, they won't be. Rares are in balance more or less, but we have other problems, resource-wise. These problems, though, are prone to be resolved at some point. Well, we do not have active research in the processing technologies yet. We will definitely not import fuel. Fuel is freaking expensive. So, we have 2 mountaineer divisions. Let's put them here. No. Well, Battle Marshal doesn't shoot them, so I guess he can do the job. Nope. Definitely not. It's way too much. And we have a division of cavalry. Okay, apparently it doesn't have a name. Weird. Now it has a name. Okay. Well, display error maybe. Who knows? Also not bad. Now we have some skill in electronic engineering, same as mechanical. And it seems like electronic and mechanical engineering, which is named aptly, will get some improvement. So we will have that tech. Then we will need to go through radio technology and so on. Is there anyone available that is willing to buy energy? Come on, UK. They don't. Sweden? Sweden for another time, sure. There's the possibility to overbuy there. Yeah, to oversell in energy, obviously. But as you can see, we are in a minor deficit now if we consider conversion not to be a thing. So conversion will stop at some point. Let's have a look at Intel too. They have 4 points of counter-espionage right now. This is not much. This is too much for my taste. This is way too much for my taste. Same as this. They usually put some leadership into this from time to time, and then they drop off again. So, who's next? Well, all of the smaller ones do not serve much purpose, but they are more or less free. What we can do, for example, is we can go to Shaanxi. I don't care much about the technologies, but disruption of national unity might be an idea. I think they sit at 70 or something, if I'm not entirely wrong. Well, yeah, they do. And we can get this down to 66 or below. And I think the distribution of victory points in here is 2 points here, 1 point up there. So we want to avoid the need to capture this point. We just want to go to Tai Yuan and be done with it later on. There is not much use in pushing for anything here, but same argument can be made for Xiba Sanma. Xiba Sanma also has a victory point distribution that is quite unfavorable to us. So let's disrupt that national unity too. And I think in the case of Yunnan it doesn't matter much. Tibet and Xinjiang are not core territories to us. We will probably conquer them anyway. That is, if we can get there in a reasonable fashion, with some pace. We might actually do that prior to conquering Yunnan, but we need to sort out the defenses. And until then, there's still a lot of consumer goods needed. Oh, we have mixed industry on. So that's me. That's on me. So that's not good. This will increase production times a little bit. I don't care much about that. I care about the fact that consumer goods have been really high. The need for consumer goods has been really high. Now it's back down where it belongs. And all of a sudden we can produce everything. In particular, the upgrades will go through. Okay. And now we waste free industrial capacity, it seems. Yes, we do. Alright. Which means we can have a look here. So, what do we need? Well, the artillery practical doesn't feel that appealing right now. I don't like that. Infantry practical could do with some improvement too. There's also the argument to be made that that battle cruiser needs screeners at some point. We might as well produce them now. Is there a nation around us that has decent, well, apparently they have, that has decent technologies, I wanted to ask. They have destroyers 1. And I cannot say for sure with Nationalist Spain. So we will build 3 of their destroyers. Put them up next to the cruiser. And be happy with the result, hopefully. Okay. Well, sure, Haiti. Sure. So they cost 6.6. I think we can afford that. Well, we can't, not in entirety. Doesn't matter much though. That's fine. It also seems like upgrades are still running. Which is okay, but they will, yeah. They are removed as long as production lines are running. Okay. Some spies have been caught. It's always interesting to see what action other spies perform, but it doesn't seem like there's anything in particular they're doing right now. So this guy will stay here, without any additional organization, I think. The two mountaineers, they barely warn the core. The infantry will, but not right now. I will wait until additional infantry production goes through. This looks reasonable. The militia, though, some of the militia might warn the core. That said, having a militia HQ will cost us consumer goods, because we cannot have a core as a reserve unit. So we will have consumer goods needed here. 0.5%, I think. If we can make that up in supplies, though, that's fine. So if we can make it up in supplies, we're good. Can we? I don't know. Maybe we have somebody that can reduce supply consumption a little bit. Militia is not prone to consume a lot of supplies, though. But do we have single brigades in here somewhere? Wait, don't. So I like my HQs to be able to fight too. And as you can see here, they barely consume any supplies. So let's put additional militia brigades down here. It's not that important. Here we go. I usually call these after some sort of province. So this is the Hefi Militia Corps, and we are trying to reduce supply consumption here. So this guy would be fine, but I'd rather use somebody. An old guard guy, maybe this one. Nah. Neither. I do not want fuel. Where does this come from? Well, who knows? So why do I keep him here? No particular reason. A very low distance. And I'd rather not have the supplies into the large network. It doesn't matter much though. We might as well deploy them up here at some point. I do not want to buy fuel. Go away. Yeah, we don't produce anymore. We will have additional units to deploy. So what's the plan against Shaanxi? Assuming that we attack them first, right? Neutrality is in decline nicely due to the Prepare for War event. And apparently we aligned towards allies twice for no reason whatsoever. That's probably just plain wrong. Where are we? This is us. This is us. So still going towards Axis. A lot, actually. Yeah, and there is no influence by a relation with faction members because the only faction member is, well, Germany, and we don't have relations with Germany. No trade agreements whatsoever. Fuel, rare materials. I guess, yeah, sure. We will take that even though it contains a convoy. Alright, increase the pace a little bit. Oh, or not. Because we have 6 points of diplomacy available to us. What do we want to do with them? I do not like the fact that we don't have much money. Can we sell fuel? Well, they will not be able to afford it, that's for sure. Same as them. Yunnan, I do not have high hopes either. No, none of these need fuel. I would be willing to part with fuel though. Here, Japan, want some energy? Nope. Okay. Let's buy additional rares. They cannot afford it. Let's have a look at metal then. Apparently we need some. Persia. Okay. So I guess I'm out of ideas. Might as well start to trade with the United States. They have resources in abundance, right from the get-go. And good relations with the United States don't hurt. Nope. I guess we could use those, yeah. We won't not have a sea-bound conflict until the middle of 37. And that would be really early. Oh, it did go up by 0.1% only. That's not bad. Officer ratio is fine. It will drop like a rock though in the next months. Agriculture advanced. Yeah, we can use agriculture. We do not necessarily need a manpower increase actually. We have enough manpower. And this is just absurdly much. We do use the mechanical engineering theoretical skill though, so we usually keep that in. Yeah, this looks great. 2 additional militia units. Give them some shabby leaders in here. The others can probably do with a replacement. And put them at some sort of HQ that contains somebody that has some skill with logistics. An old guard guy, preferably. They do not gain that much experience. Doesn't matter much though. And we should probably rename that. How about Chinon? Okay. So let's put this here. Let's put this up here for now. Additional garrisons. Fine. We need those. These are most likely to see a fight. These garrisons. So some sort of defensive doctrine on them, for example, is not a bad idea. We need a fourth here, and then a lot of other garrisons. Militia practical is still above 10. It's really great. This drops a lot. But I think we can still go with that research. That's fine. Education will come in nicely in the future. So how is their national unity? Doesn't drop much. Let's have a look at intel. First of all, we still have foreign spies in our country. That's probably Russians. I'm just spitballing here, but given their potential for espionage, it's probably Russians. Alright, no foreign spies anymore here. So let's get rid of the counter-espionage stuff. Same in the Netherlands. That was successful. Shaanxi, no foreign spies, so we disrupt the national unity a lot now. Sweden seems to have some. And the United Kingdom doesn't change much. Free counter-espionage still running there. Which leaves us with Xiba San Ma. We can also disrupt national unity in there. How low does it need to go? I don't know, let's calculate. I think it's also 66%. Below. So these two provinces should be easy to get. Lanzhou as well as Tianshui. Golmund is not great. Golmund is great from one perspective. I want an air base here to be able to bomb Tibet and Xinjiang it is, right? Xinjiang. Well, okay. We could build that airbase immediately, but it doesn't seem like it's needed. This is for the second militia HQ. We will have more of those. Usually I drag the production of those units a bit, because it's not that important, but they can be useful. And we are strapped for leadership, so I'd rather use as many units as possible within the organization that we provide. So in the case of Nationalist China here, the organization should be as slim as possible, because officer ratio is our biggest problem right now. It's not about manpower. We can basically slap units everywhere. In fact, we can probably put some units on this unit too. Not that it serves much purpose, but why not? Here we go, 3 garrison brigades. That will not do much, but they'll be available. Let's deploy these two. Ah, this doesn't work. Attach them here. They are not attached either. See, there's a lot of errors in an individual playthrough. Every unit should be attached to a higher command, just to reduce supply consumption. Yeah, and in this case, this guy's a logistics wizard, so that serves some purpose. No more rares from Italy. Well, that seems good. And the fighter will just be... it will be finished earlier. Great. There's an increase in technology for supply production. Yeah, we gotta get that up to a certain standard anyway. Education will be finished in a heartbeat. We do get additional spies. Diplomacy is still on the rise. So diplomacy is not that important anymore at this point. I want to have some additional trade agreements. That said, if we don't start producing supplies all of a sudden for other nations, I cannot see us having any more trade. And the conversion will probably go away in a while. This doesn't matter much, and this is fine. So we're only doing it for diplomatic influence now. Oh! Well, what technology is this? This is artillery. Artillery, carriage and sights. That is really great. Yeah, it's only level 4 though. So, but we got that up to a certain standard now. So now these can be upgraded. Great. And we didn't need to research that. See? It worked just fine. Education got an advance. Education will go out of the list now. Where is it? There it is. So it would take us 508 days to research education at this point. We can do that, but I'd rather leave it out. Due to inefficiency. I realized that it is still efficient, assuming that we play until, I don't know, 1945 or something. Education might still be an efficient technology, but there's other ways to increase efficiency of our research. We do not want fuel. We would give them crude oil for money? Sure, we will give you crude oil. Of course. We have enough of the stuff. Not that it matters. The increase in threat is really low. I do not like that. But if we switch it, we will lose spies. Well, we might not even lose more spies. No. We need to get this up to, I don't know, 10 or something. It might be 5 points after all. Yeah, we needed to, so we need an additional 10 points. Some of this gets reduced by itself, I think, due to the Prepare for War event. Nope. Is there an additional nation that comes to mind being a target? Definitely not Brazil, it seems. Canada! With a 5% espionage bonus, not great. So we would need to find a country like this. This might not be really needed, but we can do it anyway. Sometimes you steal technologies from countries you do not expect to steal them from. In their case, how's the naval tech? Well, okay. There's barely anything available there. Great. Really great, and I do not want to buy fuel. Thank you very much. Oh no. A worker strike. Great. So that will change the cent each day. At least we didn't lose national unity. Sure. We will buy your medal. And we just lost some leadership. We will also buy metal from Costa Rica. Why not? So in this situation, militia here is basically there to cover the front. Same with this one. The only important push is towards Taiwan, and the shortest distance is straight through the hills here. So we will probably do it that way. Which means that the mountaineers can go up here. Strategically redeploy those though. Cavalry actually might stand a chance to go behind them. On the other hand, it's not really needed. We will put them here. I'd rather not lose them. 3 real infantry divisions. They can probably... Well, there's no reason to go through the hills with them, right? So we might put them somewhere around here. And then there's additional militia. They will cover the front down here, I think. Liberia. They want to sell rare materials too. And some metal. Chemical engineering went up. Well, that's great, but it will not help for now. Let's get rid of the diplomacy. A tiny little bit should be enough. They want to sell 2 points of metal. That's a bit much for my taste. I do not want that much. That's even worse. Wasn't the national unity coming along? 68.9% now. 68.9%, so it dropped by 8% for both of them. Not too bad. Not too bad. Where do we place the infantry? Somewhere around here, right? An engineer? Sure. Or this guy. Radio technology, okay. So, census tabulation machine is one of the best technologies in the game. Well, it only gets 2% research efficiency. But research efficiency is really important. That said, doesn't matter much here. It will be researched in no time. Or it will start in no time. Once the major worker strike goes away, maybe. Oh, that's not a parliamentary scandal though. So this only affects dissent. I don't know what's going on here in that case. 2.5 point. No, okay, great. Let's make it 2.4 points in this. The battle cruiser construction doesn't matter much. We will have problem with them being produced though. We cannot afford it right now. That said, some of the infantry production will come to an end at the end of the year. Yet another infantry division. That's okay. And the infantry here, yeah, they're going there. So these two and these three, we will put them into one corps. And we will probably produce some brigades for that corps too. Two additional divisions of infantry. And an anti-aircraft gun. Well, we're getting back to drifting towards the United Kingdom. Conversion finally started to be reduced. We have enough fuel. We do not necessarily need the crude oil either. The odd trade agreement goes away or comes back. Doesn't matter much. Otherwise, there is a lot of leadership in research. Also in general research, which doesn't serve that much purpose for now. But it increases the theories around here. And it, more importantly, it reduces decay. So that reduction in decay is hard to determine how much it's worth. But to me, it always felt like it's worth a lot, especially in composite with research efficiency. And research efficiency is something that we will get sooner or later. So you will see. This helps out quite a lot. At least I hope that we will see. No, we do not want your fuel. You for sure want to buy some energy, don't you? You don't. The Americans might be willing to sell some metal. There's no relation with the with France either. So I guess we should start to get that. Oh, that's it with diplomacy. These need a higher command. There we go. So Taiwan. Taiwan Infantry Corps. Sure, let's take an old guard guy. They don't get much experience, but I think one of those, well, some of those have, I think there was one in Nationalist China. I can't remember the name though. That had the potential to go up really high. Like a skill level 7 or 8. Also, this is not a hard cap. It's a soft cap. They just get additional reductions in experience. So it's very unlikely that you will get promoted afterwards. But for some of these, the cap is at skill level 3, and they can still go to 4. It's highly unlikely, and they need tons of experience to do that. But it's in theory, it's possible. If I'm not mistaken. I think I witnessed that in my prior playthroughs. This looks fine. This is better. This is also better, by the way. We finally got one of those spies. This is okay. We should probably do something about that. France doesn't have own spies, and neither does Australia. It's babysitting, really. Nope. Battle cruisers. We can build battle cruisers. And now we'll do something really weird. We'll build 2 of those at the same time, immediately. Do we put them up the chain? Nah. They aren't really that important. The problem is if we do not build them now. Well, let's keep it like this. Priorities. Because the infantry will seek to be built at some point, and then we need those battle cruisers ASAP. They cost a lot of industrial capacity though. What we can do is we should probably build one, even though this is not very efficient, and it will go to the detriment of our fighter plane as well as the destroyer build. But the destroyers will be ready, in some way. We can also, destroyers are built in a rather fast manner once the practical starts to kick in. Oh! Well, that's not entirely useless. Sure. See, we stole it from Sweden. Yeah, I'm thinking this practical will probably help to build the other one. So if we can push one of those, say 1 month forward, then the other one can profit from the practical once the first one is finished. So that's important to me. Reaching the end of August, some militia might come in. Nope. Still not interested in your fuel. In the militia brigades, though, I'm interested. That's 3 militia brigades, and we will have an additional... it's not brigades, it's divisions. And we will have an additional Mountaineer division available to us. So this is Xi'an's militia. Put those here. Here. Might as well do it the other way. These do not have a job, really. They just need to defend that one province. This here. There's rivers in between there. So it's not like this is really important. Usually, given that this is really exposed, I start to go over the river too. Over here. But I might not do it this time. Alright, additional militia down here. So if we cover the front until here, we need those here, 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 here. You can go here too. And for good measure, you can move forward too. This is infantry. This province is not really important. It just... if we can go towards Shaanxi, Wuhan might give us some additional space for units, but that's about it. And then there's units missing up here. So I guess we're up for a challenge. That we need to stretch units a little bit more. Well, there's additional infantry coming in. We will not be able to start this war prior to that. 26.79. We are not close enough to join the faction either. Neutrality seems fine for now. Which means those 6 points might just be enough. It doesn't matter much anymore. Because we will join the Axis, and the Axis, joining the Axis will reduce the requirement for neutrality by a bit. So let's keep it like this. And now we can just waste their resources. And our own, if you want to put it that way. Increase threat a little bit. Maybe steal the odd tech. United Kingdom is good in that regard. Oh. Yeah, we have additional militia available to us. I forgot about those. So they will definitely be enough to cover that front here. I think I read somewhere at some point that the first point of construction practical, this one, is much more important than the others. But apparently it doesn't look that way. It barely reduced the cost. Which reminds me, organization should be appropriate. So let's pull those up here. Let's put him down here. Probably not a good idea, actually. We can use him from here, can't we? There's a lot of units coming in with officer requirements, so they will be problematic, given that officer requirements drop a little bit. No, I still do not want your fuel. There's also a question here. We might want to give this job to somebody else to train an additional tank buster. Or we just train him until he's really good. These are easy choices. Just cover the ports. Well, we have a lot of ports to cover, actually. I might have done that in not a great way. Oh, this is for cruisers this time. We do not produce cruisers. Thank you very much, Sweden. But... okay, it's also a shitty technology. Or a shitty level. Skip this forward one. On the other hand, you have what you have, right? So, in case we want to build a light cruiser at some point, or in case we steal technologies for light cruisers from everybody, we might still change that. Yeah, it's unlikely though. There's an additional unit of mountaineers here. Mountaineers are not tied to a core yet. Well, Falkenhausen probably should have some inclusion in this invasion. This pushed infantry practical a little bit, not by much though. Nope. That's additional infantry units. Do we need them? Sure, at some point. So we will put them on a core that will remain here towards Japan. I do not like to leave Japan undefended. I realize that the event can trigger, I think in the middle of 37 somewhere, and then afterwards, basically at random. Relations as well as, in particular, the amount of troops here at the border are very important towards Japan. So if I want them to trigger, I should just put my... Oh! Well, that's great, but it will not help much. We just got the blueprint for close air support, which is really great. So now we could go with light aircraft for all of it. The problem is light aircraft do not have any range. At least not the close air support. So even though I like close air support in general, they are not suited for the theater here. Which is sad. Because otherwise we could skip on the medium bombers and just go close air support as well as fighters. That said, we need medium bombers, the medium aircraft practical anyway, for naval bombers. Okay, so we prepared the invasion. I think everything's going according to plan for now. We stole quite a few nice blueprints, so I like that very much. Yeah. And next time out, we will probably get into the Axis. I don't know for sure yet, but once we get into the Axis, we can try to push for the unification of China. And then we will see. First of all, we need to get into the Axis. So that's it for now, and hopefully in episode 4 we can make it into our new alliance. See you later.